Hello, hello. Okay, awesome. This time the mic wasn't on. Good to know. So I've been talking for like 5 minutes. Okay, so let me quickly repeat myself. Today we continue our work on Bootmagic on Chordie. But before we do that, we will do some work on one of my other prototype keyboards, which is this one. It's the one that I've been working on previous streams. We have to do some tweaks to the layout, and maybe if I decide so, we will also tweak this one because both layouts are kind of similar. So I think maybe we can also tweak this one because I'm planning to work on this just to kind of like have a different taste for keyboards. So maybe every stream I will have a different keyboard. Yeah, but other than that, Bootmagic is waiting. I think we will be able to do some progress today. We see how it goes. But before that, I guess we have to jump and try to flash this one with a bit better layout. So the name of this one is DBD. Maybe I will just move it. I will just connect both parts. So the good thing about this one is that there's only one CPU in it. So you only have to flash one side. The other side is just simple I2C expander. So that has its drawbacks as well. You can't really control LED that well, like when you have two MCUs. But I'm okay with that. It's not an issue. I'm okay with just like underglow and with the same effect running on both parts. I don't really need to have a split effects, so yeah, that's fine. And it's easier to connect, easier to wire, and it's cheaper. So that's more or less how it's built. So what we need to do, I need to change few things in the layout. So this keyboard, okay, that's the layout. And recently I've been changing a few things, and one of those was that I don't know if you will be able to see. Yeah, these are the infrared sensors. So there's a diode and there's a photo transistor, and I'm using this to enable some layers. So for example, if I want to have a side swap, I will just hold my finger over here, and then the left side turns to the right side. So instead of Q, I have P, and so on and so on. And also I have some of those diodes on this one, but I am missing one on the right side. So it's not quite one-to-one. Yeah, this one is like almost the final form of my layout. I like it very much. I've been using it for like many years now, and over time I think I have perfected it. So that's something that I can present to you later. But today, let's just quickly fix what I needed to fix. This keyboard also has a Bootmagic, but I had an epiphany today because I realized that Bootmagic, the way it's set up on this one, it's actually on the escape key. And that doesn't really make much sense because on the left side, there is no CPU. So sometimes you can just program the right side, and would be good to have a Bootmagic, one of the keys also on the right side. So you can only flash the right side. You don't need to have both parts or the left part as well. So this should enable like an easier flashing in the future. So this should be easy. There was a setting somewhere over here for the Bootmagic. I think it was in config C or config H. Ah, yeah, it's here. So we have it defined as row 0 and column 6. So quick look into the how the layout is wired, like electrically. So we have row 0, which is this one, and the key was number 6. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, this is our escape key, but we would like to change that, and we would like to have it R06, which is backspace. So backspace is here. So that one was 6, 7. So it should be number 8. Yeah. So let's do that. Config.h. And let's just change that to 8. Did it save? Yeah, it saved. I need to check if I have my VM machine running with QMK, the one that we set up previously. Ah, yes. So I do have it running. Actually, the drive is present, but I can't see it opening. Let's do a quick check on Hyper-V. Okay. Now the question is, which one was? Both are running actually, so should be fine. Let's just connect. Okay. 160. What's the IP address of this one? 45. So that's not the machine I needed. Maybe this one. Could it be that it changed the IP address of the machine? It shouldn't happen, but maybe it did. Maybe it's dynamic. Well, it seems like the chat is working, so that's a win. I think the address has changed. I will just disconnect those drives. Seems like the address hasn't really changed. I don't know why it didn't want to connect. Hopefully this time it will work. Seems like instead of fixing Bootmagic or fixing the layout, we'll be fixing Hyper-V. I think I will just do like a quick reset on the machine because they just noticed it's showing there is no network. So maybe Magic Reboot will fix it. Yeah, what could go wrong? Of course, it doesn't work. Finally. Okay, so maybe it will work this time. Let's try connect the drive. I think I need to check if Samba is running at all. I hope that's the one where we have Samba. Yeah, okay, Samba is installed, so that's okay. Maybe if we can just list all the services running, maybe we can see if Samba is up or not. And if I grab it through Samba, okay, looks like Samba is running. SMBD service loaded active running Samba daemon. Okay. So IP, okay, now IP is different. Right. So maybe I should change it to like static. Okay, seems like I can't really set up static IP on Hyper-V. At least I can see it. Maybe we can set up static IP inside Ubuntu. I hope I can do it from UI instead of using console. Where is it? Okay, network. Cool. Network disconnected. And okay, I can do manual. So let's change it to 172. Oh, 45. Okay, I think it needs net mask. Did it change or did it not change? what will be the gateway for this one. Okay, finally. I had to give up and just let it do dynamic IP, and I was able to connect finally. Besides, it's assigning very odd addresses, something maybe to look into later. Hyper-V has a very odd network manager compared to like VMware. That's the virtual switch manager. Yeah, but here all we can do is just MAC address, and that's it. Okay, for now it works. So we're gonna leave it as that. So let's try to send the source again. Okay, now it's copying. So over here we can do QMK compile. Keyboard. And the layout is default. Okay, we got some warnings. Okay. So this one is still on ARM. So I think I will use the QMK toolbox. Hit auto flash. And now I will try to do the Bootmagic and see how it works. So I need to hold escape key and connect the power. and nothing happens. Oh my god, what is wrong? Okay, this, I think the wire doesn't work. So the cable is okay. Seems like there's something wrong with the keyboard. Okay, there was something with the magnetic connector, but it works, and the Bootmagic also works. So that's cool. Okay, I'm gonna try if this new key config works for Bootmagic. So now we move to backspace key. Seems like there's a connection problem. I'm gonna bring my other keyboard. Okay, this one works. So I will try again Bootmagic. Yeah, it seems to be flashing okay. Good. So now the backspace key should be our Bootmagic. Yeah, it works. So that's cool. Okay, and there was one more thing I wanted to try. I mean, maybe not try, but to change. So in the layout, I realized that I could use more of the modifier keys. So I have these. Let me just quickly show you. So I have these infrared sensors also on the sides, and these are used for modifier keys. So I just put my pinky here, and then over here I have Control, Shift, and Alt, and I use it if I need to do like Control click or Shift click or some other stuff, usually for the mouse, but not only, because what I can do is I can hold Alt, and then I have the layer switch. So I can do, for example, control, hold this is another layer, and here I have arrows. So I can do control left, control right, control shift, and so forth. So, but the issue is now, just today I realized I have only left modifiers. So left control, left alt, and left shift. And would be nice to have more, I mean, to have the right modifiers as well. So to have right control, right alt, and right shift. Even though they're not really used that much, there are some apps that are using these kind of modifiers. So it would be good to have this working. And also I don't really have anything else to put under those keys. So this might be handy. So quick look. So this is mouse button left. And as you can see, this is control alt. Oh, I do have right alt. Okay. And I have arrows over here. But technically I have never used arrows over here. And I think it would be better to just have other keys to have those right modifiers. And actually even like I can curl my fingers and I can still reach it okay. I think it would be even better than reaching to the right alt, which is under escape. Okay, now some Vim magic. I wonder how many lines I'm gonna break. Maybe if I want to change like this will be no key. So we need to change ASC. So this will be right alt. This is S. So this will be right control. And this will be right shift. This one we can change. I mean, you can remove that. And just put no key over here. So this is for the left side. Yeah, looks okay. So we have left alt, left control, and left shift. And just below we have right alt, right control, and right shift. This looks okay. And now the right side. So here I don't really have much. So we can disable this key. Here we can do right alt. And over here will be right control. And over here we can do right shift. Well, actually, right shift is not that much used as far as I know, but I do have apps that make use of right control and right alt. So that's something that's good to have, in my opinion. Besides, there was nothing else here worth using. Like the arrows are not that much convenient, and yeah, modifier keys will be much better. Yeah, so I guess that's pretty much it. We have changed the Bootmagic, which works, and now we change this one. So let's do a quick save. send it to VM. Recompile. Okay, no errors. That's always nice to see. Okay, we have auto flash. I will try this time around to flash it without plugging in the left side. So left side is completely off. I wonder if it will boot into Bootmagic, or would it kind of stop on some kind of an error or something. If it doesn't boot into Bootmagic, if there will be no flash, that might give us a hint why Chordie isn't going into Bootmagic as well, since it was throwing some errors at the beginning. So yes, that might be interesting. Well, looks like it works, so doesn't matter. It did flash. So what we can do now is to check if our settings are correct. Yeah, it looks like it's okay. Looks like it works. Okay, so I'm gonna unplug this one, and we're gonna check what's wrong with the other one, why there is no boot. Sometimes it seems like it's not really connecting, even if I plug in the cable. Okay, now it works. I'm gonna try Bootmagic once more time. Okay, this time it worked. Okay, I'm gonna do a quick check how those keys behave. So we have right shift, right alt, and right control. Okay, so this is fine. I'm kind of worried why it didn't really plug. Let's do like few more cycles to see if it starts behaving. Okay, now it seems fine. And I do have a block over here. You can you can see the screws. So inside there is like a tiny limiter, so you can't really push the MCU too far. Okay, seems to be okay. Well, if it breaks at some point, we will have something to do on stream, but for now I will leave it as is. Okay, so we have these two fixed already. So now I would like to take a look at the 3I2C layout. How much different is it from DBD? Even though the key layout is the same, I think 3I2C was a little bit behind to all those changes that I did. And also it's still missing the additional sensor, so I'm not quite sure if it makes sense to change anything at the moment. Most of the keys are the same. It's more or less the same. Well, if anything comes up when we will be working on it, and if there's any key that I am used to from DBD and it's different here, so maybe then we'll do some changes. But I think currently it doesn't really make sense to put work in it since it will be all different anyway. Okay, so we are done with that. So back to our Chordie and Bootmagic. I think I can switch off toolbox, won't be needed anymore. And for the virtual machine, let's take a quick look. Maybe if I put in those values into static, maybe that would be good. 21. I'm not quite sure about the gateway. Okay, looks like it's still online. So maybe this will work. Okay, so going back to Bootmagic. So previously we set our Bootmagic to row and column 0, 0, and it didn't work, which is rather odd because when we are looking at the output from HID listen, maybe I can find it. So yeah, so this is HID listen, and if I connect Chordie, there should be console. Yeah, some errors in the beginning, but that's fine. I hope. Yeah, so the key we were interested in was this one, the last one on the right side, and it says that it's key number 7, but it didn't really work. Okay, maybe you can try one more time. Maybe I missed something last time. Seven. Yeah, that should be right. And even if we take a look at dbd config, so it's basically the same. Bootmagic row, Bootmagic column is the same define. And we also have it in the JSON file over here. It's enabled. Okay, so I will just save it, send it, recompile. I really need to switch off the other virtual machine because I made one and then the other one on the stream, and I think they are both running. Technically, I can remove the other one. Okay. So QMK and compile. Our keyboard is Chordie and the layout is KBJ. Oh no, I think I was on default. Right. Mm. Oh, it's keyboard. Did it send? And overall to make target. It's complaining about the layout, but everything was fine. Just last time when I was compiling. What is it this time? Let's take a quick look what's on the server. Okay, so the layout is not defined. If I just remove it, would that be enough to just push it? I don't think if it sent anything. Oh my god, what's that? Okay, still doesn't like it. Oh wait, the name is different. It's keyboard.json, not info.json. So if I just change the name, oh that's odd. But yeah, DPD has a proper name. But in Chordie is different. Kind of odd because last time we were compiling it was fine. Would it work this time? With just a 3-key layout? Don't really feel like defining everything. Oh god damn it. So it says we need 25 keys. Oh well, guess I have to type it in. I think it was done through the keyboard layout editor, that you can define all the keys in the editor and then just copy paste. So we have 6 already and we need 25. So if I do 19 input, okay. I think I can do some kind of a macro in Vim or something like that. I think it might take longer than like typing it by hand. Okay, how about now? Okay, so at least it compiles the other one. Okay, but now it will mess up everything because I didn't put the correct X and Y positions. Hmm. What is this thing with the streams.mk? No such file directory. So maybe that's why I had a different name. Let's try to get rid of it for now. Okay. So now it doesn't really know what bootloader we need. Wow, what a mess. I wonder if I'm also sending this stuff to local MSys. Now this is the old one. Okay, we can take a look if it compiles. I think that's the one with the other layout. It's, I mean, the one with the pointing device. God damn it, QMK. I mean, MSys. QMK is quite nice. Yeah, it also complains, but at least it did something. So what is this error about the streams? It wasn't there before. So seems like I'm not the first one to have this issue. And as usual, Drashna to the rescue. We need to run make git submodule. Okay, let's give it a try then. Okay, it doesn't work. Well, this is rather old one for Ubuntu 18.04. Looks like there are some modules missing. Would be nice if the clipboard worked on this thing. That's very odd because everything was fine. It's the same virtual machine as last week, and we had no issues compiling. Looks like I have caps lock on. I can't remember at this point where was the leader key to switch it off. I need to do a quick check. Okay, so leader is here. This should fix it. Okay, what is wrong with the clipboard? I think I know. There's this odd thing with Hyper-V that actually it's connecting like a remote desktop. So we can change the way it's connecting. Oh no, not this. There is I can't remember at this moment how to spawn like remote desktop settings for this. Because yeah, it will automatically just connect, but I'm sure there was a setting. Well, it shouldn't connect straight away. Maybe if I can turn it off and then try to reconnect. Looks like instead of fixing Bootmagic, we'll be fixing QMK. Well, what we can do in this case, we can just remove everything. Maybe just rename and maybe try to reinstall QMK. Okay, so now there is no network. Looks like it changed address again. Okay, let's try again. Okay, what does it say? I need to run some commands. Okay, is that it? Do we still have the drive? Yes, we do. Okay, so let's try to upload our firmware. Okay, it's in. Okay, this time it works. Ah, okay, so we have our UF2 file. So now we have to enter boot mode. Ah, I forgot it's gonna be this key. A quick check if it works. Okay, so we do have some keys. F4, 3, F2, okay, F1. I'm gonna try the Bootmagic if it changed at all. Nope, nothing happened. So the listen, it works. Okay, so these errors at the beginning kind of worry me. So if you take a quick look at the matrix, so basically the whole scanning starts over here and we are reading the left expander and there are two banks. So I think this is the first bank, port A, and this is port B. And then we just take all the data, like all the encoders and stuff. And the same goes for the right side. Well, these settings don't really change much. I mean, you have to enable this if you want to compile I2C on ARM, and that's pretty much it. Okay, so maybe it's time to take a look into QMK source. Maybe we can find something interesting over there. I wonder if we can find Bootmagic. So there is something in Command C, some define. But there is bootmagic.h. Okay, so this is basically all the config. These are our define row and column. Okay, so there is a matrix scan. So does it mean that there is something in the matrix scanning that I missed? There's nothing about Bootmagic. Okay, so there is this function bootmagic scan. So that's this one. It's scanning, and then Bootmagic should reset. What does it do? So there is nothing in the matrix C about scanning the Bootmagic. Also in quantum, it's like the main function. I can't see anything. How is it used? So there's this matrix get row. So this kind of takes the row and the column. Mm. Okay, so there's this function matrix get row, and if I look into my source code, into my matrix, Okay, so I don't really have it. But I think it's defined somewhere else. Okay, matrix common. Let's take one more look at the specs. Bootmagic, and there was a callback. Okay, so there is a Bootmagic scan, so maybe we have to write our own. Okay, let's give it a shot. First, we can see if it even works. So maybe we'll just add just a print. Although we don't have the guarantee that it will output anything, because like printing from firmware is very wonky. Sometimes it prints, sometimes it doesn't. Okay. The bounce is not defined. Isn't it that we have to fill in our own value?
because I think the debounce from QMK is different, has a different name. I think it was somewhere in config, debounce. Yeah, I will put some random value, maybe 15 should be enough. Okay. I need to start HID listen. What does it say? And there is no output from Bootmagic. Yeah, so nothing changed. We get this output, post init user, but we don't get this one. Okay, but maybe it won't even say anything because like it's been called first before anything else. So if I'm reading it correctly, was the Bootmagic depreciated already? Because it says that now depreciated full Bootmagic feature, see magic key codes. So let's take a look. But it doesn't say anything about Bootmagic. So no, it seems like the Bootmagic is still up. Oh, we have someone in the chat. Hello, welcome, most welcome. Okay, so this matrix get row will just return the row. So in our case, when we want row 0, so to return row 0, okay, so we have 1, shift left, and the Bootmagic column is 7. Okay, so we have something like this. But if we do like an AND, that kind of resets. Shouldn't it be like OR? Because for us, we don't really have to do the AND operation because we have only one row. And if we do our Bootmagic column, we do the shift only. Yeah, so basically this is our key that we want. Yeah. How about let's just change and just let's just put the put it into bootloader every time. Doesn't matter if we press a key or not. So then we will know if it even works or what is wrong maybe. Okay, it works. So, okay, so we can just remove that. Okay, so what it does, it will just scan the whole thing. And in our case, it will do it twice. So matrix get row will return the row from the matrix. So this is our row matrix. Okay, so it will return this one. So this is the bounced values. So basically when we are scanning, I am setting up the matrix over here. Okay, so first I will just fill up the row matrix, then I will do debounce, and then after that, the debounced version, I will still put in the encoders, because when they were on when I was keeping them before the debounce will just remove them, because the time the switches are on in encoder is very short, so they will be just like wiped from the matrix. So our matrix is okay. So that brings us here. So in our case, the Bootmagic row is 0 and the Bootmagic column is 7. Ah, yeah, right. So the Bootmagic, so matrix get row, it will return this one. We should be getting this thing if it's properly filled. So this should work. Hmm. Because basically this row is the one is what we are pressing at this moment, and this will be just the key which we want to like take from this row. So it will be like the 7th key, and this whole thing will be this one actually. Maybe if I can print what the matrix get row is getting, then I will be able to compare. Maybe I did something wrong. Maybe you can try over here. How do I do redo in Vim? That's a good question. Okay, controller. Okay, so we have should boot now. And if I hold the key, okay, but the matrix get row is all 0. That's not how it's supposed to be. Okay, because I'm not holding the key. Let's see what changes. Okay, it's still showing there is no key. Maybe we need a longer time to read it. Let's do like 350. No, that's gonna be long, but yeah, whatever. Okay. What do we have here? Still nothing. Still showing some error and the row is 0. So we know that it's calling the proper function, but there's something wrong with me reading matrix. we could only find this Bootmagic scan, where is it being called? Okay, so in Quantum, we are checking if the Bootmagic is enabled. So this is only loading stuff. Okay, so I think the whole thing happens in keyboard C. Okay, so it's here. Bootmagic. Yeah, so it's calling from keyboard C. Okay, so this is the quantum init. Where does it end? It ends here. So this is where the Bootmagic is called. Okay, and so this is the whole chain. So this is how various systems are being initialized. So we have timer, sync timer, via split, encoders. Okay, so the matrix init is before quantum init. Okay, so before quantum init, we have matrix init. So I assume it's being called. So we need matrix.h. Okay, so this is matrix init, which is being called before Bootmagic. So for us, we don't have a split keyboard defined. Okay, so it does matrix init kb. And I think I don't have that. Hmm. Well, technically, what I could do instead of like digging through the code, I can just do my own reading. So basically, I can read the encoder straight before even the matrix fires up. So over here, instead of doing matrix scan, I could just read straight from the encoder. Just do this. Okay, we can try that. So this is the read part from the right. So I will just yank it. Okay, so I guess we can get rid of this. So I will hold the value read from the expander here. I will just keep the same name. Oh, actually, no, I can just use the expander data. Okay, because I'm checking if anything been read. Yeah, maybe I will leave it like that, then I will see if there is an error or anything like that. We have to change because it's red. We have to like negate the input. So I will leave it like that. And I will just try to print it. So what do we have here? So we will try to read directly from the expander. If there is an error, we just print there's an error. If there is no error, we can just flip it, and then we can print whatever has been read. Yeah, but still we don't know. All right, we don't know. We won't be able to see it anyway, most probably. Okay, I will give it a shot first. If not, then I will just try to compare like in the matrix, or maybe I will just check the schematic which pin is connected to this port, I mean to this pin on the expander. So then I will be able to tell which value, I mean which bit is it. Okay. Now it's not showing any error. Okay, that's interesting. There are no more errors. But it's still showing that we have 0 on the get row. This is actually over here. So we are not getting any output from Bootmagic scan. It's not a surprise because it's initialized so early. Maybe I will just try doesn't matter which key I'll press, it will just enter. So if there is anything in expander data, just jump to the bootloader. Would that work? Well, technically it should work. Is it reboot? Yeah. Well, it still didn't jump into the bootloader. Okay. There's one more thing, because we need to initialize encoders, and this goes so far away, like most of it. That's why it's not reading anything, because I will only set up these in the post init user. So this is like way after Bootmagic. So maybe if you try to initialize inside the Bootmagic, so, and just like I have a one variable that will say if it was like initialized already or not, because I don't know if I initialize twice, would the tag break anything? So let's try static bool. Let's do false. And here we can do if not initialized. So just initialize. And make sure that we set this to true. So we know it's initialized. And we can do the same Okay, so this should do the trick. If it's not initialized, then it will initialize everything, and then I can finally read. Or maybe that's where the error was coming from, because it was trying to read from Bootmagic function, but back then there was no initialization yet, and that's why it was spitting out errors. Interesting. Maybe I'm right. Okay, we are back in HID. I think I got it. Yes, finally. Damn. So I was right. So the whole issue was that when Bootmagic was trying to read the keys, I2C wasn't initialized yet. So that's where all those errors were coming from. So what we needed to do was to check if I2C is initialized at the Bootmagic scan. So if it's not, then we can initialize everything, set it as initialized. So then when we reach post init user, we don't have to initialize the second time. So that won't cause any errors. Basically now we can remove it from init user if we keep the Bootmagic. Let's see, because I think Bootmagic is being called all the time. Doesn't matter if I press the key or not. So as long as it's enabled in rules, it's gonna be called anyway. But let's try. Okay, so I know. I just pressed the boot key. These keys are not boot. Oh, come on. Okay, so this works. So yeah, so that's right. We don't really have to keep all this init in the post init user. As long as we have Bootmagic enabled, it will initialize all the I2C. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's a progress. So basically we have it nailed down. Well, just that now it doesn't really matter which key we hold. Should I change it to just one key, or should I just leave it as any key? Maybe any key is not a good idea, because some keys might be held or something when you're like pressing, and then the whole thing will look like it's broken. So I think I will just change it. All I need to do is to check the schematic. Okay, so we want the right side and we want this key, which is A0. Okay, so it's gonna be the first bit. So if I do it like this, that should work, or maybe not. Okay, so let's take a quick look at HID. Listen, okay, so these keys work. So now if I just hold any key, it should boot normal, but if I hold the last one, it should boot into flashing mode. Okay, let's do it like this, so to be visible what device pops up. Yes, it works. Great success. Cool. Okay, I was thinking we won't be able to figure out what's wrong with it, but luckily I was wrong. So now when I look at it, it seems kind of obvious why it didn't work. Yeah, but if it wasn't for the fact that this keyboard is so custom, like the matrix scanning and everything is completely different than what you have like in standard QMK. So no wonder it's giving so many problems. Okay, but that was technically the last thing I wanted to fix. So next stream, I think I'll be working on it because it's a pretty cool keyboard. I like it very much. And I haven't been using it for some time because I was preparing all the streaming equipment and all this stuff. So I also got a little bit rusty with all the chords and shit. But yeah, it should come back fast. And while we'll be using it, I hope we can trigger the crash in the keyboard because it happens on ARM. So maybe we'll be able to debug further, see what's happening. And yeah, and we can work on it. So I think next stream we will clean up the code because as usual I've made a mess. So we'll just clean up some things. And I think we can start working on the next version. We will just add those mouse keys that I was talking in the beginning. Yeah, maybe we'll even start some printing if time permits. See how long it takes. Usually it takes some time to fix it. But with Design Spark might be quite fast because I would just reuse what I have, just do few cuts, move few keys. Maybe it will be faster than what I think. Okay, thanks for watching. That was a very fruitful episode. I am very happy that I was able to fix this issue and get the Bootmagic running. And I think we have learned quite a lot about how Bootmagic works, how QMK boots the keyboard, which functions are being called in what order, and like what can we do about it. And now I think we have like more general understanding, just in case you wanted to do some custom QMK in the future. So this might come handy. Next stream will be on Wednesday, if nothing happens. And yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Leave a like if you're on YouTube. Leave a comment as well. Maybe consider subscribing, joining. And I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much and goodbye.